practicing my scales is boring. I'm sure we've all heard that statement before, and I'm sure you've said it just like I have. And a trap that we can often fall into is we want to jump ahead to learn the next song or solo, but forget to practice our scales, which are so fundamental to getting to the next level in our guitar playing. So today I want to explore how scales can help us with our dynamics and by exploring chromatics. You ready? Let's rock it. Hey everybody, it's Andre from Guitar Gravity. If you're new here, I want to welcome you, and I want to give you guys a tool to help you get your speed up to that next level. So it's a 30-day blueprint. I'll walk you through 3 different exercises that range in different difficulty, and it comes with some video, a PDF, and some tabs and backing tracks as well. So a lot of stuff there that's free for you, and the link is down below in the description for you to go ahead and grab this resource. All right, let's go on to the lesson. As we talked about last week, practicing your scales definitely can be boring and dry, and we can do different things to help us make our scales more interesting. So the first thing we're gonna look at today is the importance of dynamics. So dynamics are all about how you play the notes. So when we're practicing your scale, instead of just playing them at one volume, we can practice playing them like a wave. So quiet to loud, back to quiet. So here's what that sounds like. We can also do the opposite. We can start loud, go to quiet, the top of our scale. At the lowest note, we can be back to loud. So some ideas to help you with your articulation when you're practicing your scales. So one of them is a technique of muting. So muting is when we muffle the notes. So with the right hand, I'm putting my palm just lightly on top of the strings. So instead of hearing this, you hear this. So another idea that you can do with your dynamics is we can look at playing with accents. So accents is when we hit a note with more emphasis. So playing at a normal volume like this is good. And then now if I want to give it some even more energy, I can just hit that string as loud as I can. So I can play at a normal volume and add in an accent here and there. Another concept to help you with your dynamics when you're practicing your scales is the technique known as legato. So legato is when instead of picking every note, we are starting with the first note of every string. We can pick it, and then we're going to do what's called a hammer-on when we're ascending the scale. So I'm not picking that note. I'm allowing my finger to go down on that note and produce the sound of that note. So what you can do here is pick that first note of the scale, and when I'm going to the next string, I'll pick that first note of the string and then hammer on or pull off the rest of the notes to achieve my legato sound. So instead of hearing, it's more of a flowing sound. So the third way we're going to look at how to make your scales sound less boring is by looking at chromatics. So we can look at chromatics, basically a way that you can fill in the gaps. So if we look at our scale, I'm just going to fill in the gaps between the notes within the position that I'm playing. So for example, when I'm connecting the first 2 notes, I'm going to fill in the gap right here. Now between these 3 notes, you're going to fill in the gap by playing this note. Now for the next 3 notes on the G string, I'm going to fill in the gap here. So instead of hearing this, I I can practice my scale by adding in the chromatics. So it would sound like this. Has a jazzy feel. Now I can continue those notes up the octave. That's just the first, just to show you the notes, but you can start finding other patterns and practicing those things. So an idea that you could do would be something like this. Well, there you go for today's lesson. Just to recap, we looked at how we can use dynamics and how we can use chromatics within our scales. And that's really just gonna help you in your guitar playing, help you get to that next level as well. So as a gift for you, I have a backing track that you can practice along with, that you can jam to, and that's also in the description below. So you have two things you can check out. You have the 30-day shred blueprint, and you also have that jam track that you can jam to with your scales. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in to this week's lesson, and until next time, rock on.